Vorderman. She's a stand-up girl. It's Fern Brady. And their team captain, Jon Richardson. And facing them tonight, hey, Big Spencer, it's Bill Spencer. Call him Mr. Vane. It's Henning Wehn. And their team captain, Jon Locke. Now, it's your host, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 35% of Americans think British accents are attractive? Well, jolly nice of you to say so, fatty. 19% of people who bought Katie Price's latest book, Love, Lipstick and Lies, haven't read it yet. Fine, we haven't read it, she didn't write it, everyone's happy. And 86% of Brits can't name 5 Cs around the world. It's easy. President Putin, he's a massive C. David Cameron, he's a right C. Whoever's running Iran at the moment, total C. Kim Jong-un, absolute C. And Piers Morgan, what a C. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Jon, Fern, Carol, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Lots of different things, haven't they?
Yeah, well done, Carol. I mean, that's... We could probably just end round 1 there, can we?
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day?
Mother's Day, yes.
Well, you're a mum.
I am a mum, and I actually have a mother as well. Yeah, which is remarkable.
Fascinating stuff. We're all...
We chat about all sorts of things, my mother and I.
Do you? What's the weirdest conversation you've had with your mum?
Well, it was actually last week, because I got my daughter, picked her up from uni, and we went into Nana's, and...
Is Nana's like Nando's?
No, Nana's my mum.
Oh, OK.
Nana's my mum. Yeah. And she got her iPad out, and my daughter goes, "What's that, Nan?" She said, "You're on Facebook." "Nana, that's my account." And my mum is stalking my daughter's Facebook account. She says, "Oh, no, I've got hundreds of friends on it." She said, "No, they're my friends, Nana. They're not your friends, they're
your
my
Nana
friends."
is stalking your daughter as well? We should get together and talk.
She said, "Oh, I go to bed half an hour early and I read up about all these different people."
What's this thing here? I think she might mean Tinder.
No.
Face thing. No. Yes.
Sean, do you celebrate it in your house? You got kids?
Yeah, I hate Mother's Day because I've got young children, so they don't do anything. I have to take them out. If Mother's Day's crap, it's my fault, not their fault. I'd like to leave it entirely up to them. You know, nothing to do with me.
Do you get the kids to cook them breakfast?
Yeah. And I don't interfere at all. So it's eggs fried in washing up liquid. So, no, this is what their breakfast is. Eat it. What I like to do, if my wife says, "Where are the kids' presents for Mother's Day?" I said, "I've hidden them." And what I do is I hide them under a pile of ironing. Treat. To go and during the course of the week, you'll come across them.
Jon, you're very close to your mum, aren't you?
Yes. That will surprise no one. Got her a very funny card this year. It said, "Mums know the benefit of cooking with wine. Sometimes they put it in the food." It's funny because it implies she has a drink problem.
Fern, do you find it difficult buying presents for your mum?
Yeah, one year when me and Mum had our annual Mother's Day fallout, it was because I bought her one of them funeral cards instead of Mother's Day.
What did it say?
"With deepest sympathy." Sorry you got me for a daughter.
Henning, is Mother's Day on the same day in Germany?
Well, Mother's Day is in May, but it's equally awkward. Because there is just no right present. Because if you ignore it, well, then obviously Mutter is furious. But then, if you don't ignore it and give Mutter something, she goes, "Well, and why aren't I treated with any respect for the rest of the year?" So it's a no-win situation. But
you could treat her with respect the rest of the year. That might... I mean, it's just a thought. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's too late for that now.
I read that mothers just want a bit more sleep.
Yes, that's the #1 thing they say they want.
We're all conscious of giving them cards and flowers and Actually, they just want to be left alone.
I just want to be knocked out for 24 hours. God love it.
Well, I don't, because every year there's a survey that says which towns spend the most money. It's meant to make the rest of us feel bad. Is it Liverpool this year? Spend the most on them. Well, all that means is that mothers across the country say, don't get me anything. And mothers in Liverpool go, you better spend 50 quid on me, you little shit.
They might get 50 quid's worth of goods, but they haven't spent it.
Well, let's have a look and see if Mother's Day is up there. Sean C, what else will the nation be talking about this week?
Oh, is it the news that two people who used to really like each other don't like each other anymore? And for some reason, we all know about it.
You were talking about the fact that Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin have broken up after 10 years of marriage.
Consciously uncoupled.
This is the phrase they've used, which is incredible. They released a statement saying we've consciously uncoupled.
They nicked that off me, because I spent my 20s following women pretending I was going out with them. I used to call it subconscious coupling. Follow them home, pretend we were a couple, and then wait till they threw me out.
It did seem like a really weird statement, because just in case consciously uncoupling wasn't annoying enough, they said after the split we're closer than ever.
Yeah.
And the world went, bullshit.
Well, you see that it gave her then some painting of a flying bird as a leaving present. I mean, had he given her like a spanky tissue, there would have been less wanky than that painting.
What tissue?
Oh, spunky?
Oh, spunky tissue.
Sorry, Sean, it's pronounced spunky. I quite like Chris Martin, I quite like Gwyneth. What do you make of Gwyneth?
Me?
Yeah, what do you make of Gwyneth?
I don't know. Like most people, I think it's just a bit smug and sort of pain in the arse, really, I would say.
Are you moving in there, Carol?
What do you mean?
You moving in on Chris?
No, he's a bit too old for me.
I said last week on this show that I liked Coldplay, and then this week, marriage over.
Oh.
I'm not saying she watches, but if he likes you, I'm bailing. You are clearly a dickhead. But we shouldn't joke about it because there are kids involved, and of course...
Yeah, I feel sorry for them, having those twats as parents. I imagine Chris Martin got fed up coming home from the recording studio, opening the fridge, and all that's there is like a meadow of alfalfa sprouts. And the only treat is a little marzipan farmer leaning over it like that. Now he's had a lifestyle change. He doesn't have to, abide by her rules, because she was so vegan, she sort of grows towards the light, doesn't she? She's sort of...
Fern, what do you make of this split?
I feel like my faith in love has been destroyed. No, I don't really. I feel sorry for them, though, because they were together 10 years, and that's like dog years in celebrity relationships. That's like a long time.
It's like a miracle.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for their kids, because she banned Apple from eating carbs, yet was sadistic enough to name her after a carb. Why not a lean protein?
That was the sound of our audience going, are apples carbs? Yes.
Are they? No,
Yeah,
they're not.
fruit and veggie carbs, yeah.
I know that tomatoes are a nut.
Yeah. Chicken's actually a legume. We're making the anti-QI.
Phil fell for it. Yes, no, they're a fruit. That's what I was doing, Phil.
I think she's got increasingly out of touch. She set herself up as this kind of lifestyle guru and talking about weird things that she will let her children eat or won't let her children. It does seem to have got very out of touch.
Well, our children are going to be eating McDonald's every second Saturday now.
And now she's hanging out with that Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So now he has got 100 problems.
OK, let's have a look and see if the split is up there. Yes, Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin are splitting up. In the press release, Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow said they were consciously uncoupling, as opposed to unconsciously uncoupling, which is just when it accidentally slips out. Right, fingers are buzzers. One more thing still to get.
It must be the exciting European debate Fascists.
Yeah, the Clegg and Farage have been debating. They were on LBC last week, on the BBC this week, debating Europe.
The greatest head-to-head of our time. Sort of drunk purple head and a boring balding head. I was going to watch the last one, but then Martin Clunes was on the One Show. It just takes too long. I think most people know where they feel about Europe, so an hour is too long. They should just get all the questions at once and have to answer them back to back, just so you have Farage going, yes, no, only the fit ones, not a penny, back where they came from.
That's good. What do you make of Nick Clegg? What do you think, Carl?
He is wet, really, isn't he? I mean, it's like a grey day in Austria.
Austria's quite nice, though, isn't it?
Is it nice? Is that too nice, then?
You don't get Henning started. He loves Austria.
Was, is, and always will be an integral part of the fatherland.
But, I mean, Nigel Farage, at least he's got that kind of bombastic appeal that Boris has, you know?
People like Farage and Boris, you should be able to beat Nigel Farage, and he shouldn't have the success he's had. And the only success he's had is because people like Nick Clegg are so shit at their jobs. Nick Clegg's only trick is remembering the name of the person who asked the question and then using it several times while he doesn't answer the question. If you had him on here at the beginning, you went, so what have the British people been talking about? He'd go, Jimmy, I'm glad you asked me that because I think Jimmy's question is a valid one, and what it tells us is that Britain is asking what the top 5 things people have been talking about, and Jimmy, I think there are thousands of people like you, and your name is Jimmy, and there's actually a Jimmy in my constituency who asked me what the top 5 things the nation have been talking about this week, and I said, Jimmy, good on you, Jimmy.
I'm voting for him. I like him. Yeah, what do you make of this, Fern?
I think the whole debate should have taken place in a Wetherspoons. That's how deeply irrelevant the two of them are. And I think everything
Well,
Nigel...
coming from Glasgow, you're saying they should have done it somewhere classy.
No, wait a second. Wait a second, Jimmy. I'm working class. I'm not from Glasgow. I'm from the same town as Susan Boyle. It's a bit better.
Which town is that?
Bathgate.
Bathgate?
Yeah.
I've been to Bathgate. I thought I was doing a gig for the survivors.
Everyone looks like Subo at home.
I think she's a good-looking fella. I'm not giving her a hard time.
Is Bathgate from the Proclaimers song? There's that.
Yeah,
Bathgate no more. Sutherland, everybody, Sutherland no more.
The
Fuck is wrong with this country?
What's wrong with this country? It's not 20 years ago when that was a hit. Surely, what do you make of this in-out on Europe debate?
We are creating this fuss about saying certain people are saying they want to leave Europe. Europe's really... It would like us to be there. They're not really that bothered. It's a bit like West Brom saying, no, we don't think the Premiership's right for us. We're going to start our own league. We're going to play on our own and choose to play matches that we can organise over the phone with the various clubs at our convenience.
Henning, what do you make of this?
Well, I'm slightly biased. I'm all in favour of UKIP because they're serious about implementing Otto von Bismarck's 19th century policy of isolating Britain.
Wow. Someone had to make that rather obvious point before we move on.
No, and the thing is, well, I don't know. I think at the moment we definitely learned that Europe is very, very important. We need a united Europe. There is no doubting, there is no debating that. I don't know where UKIP gets it from that Britain can walk out of Europe. What we do need a united Europe under strong German leadership.
Well, I can tell you Nick Clegg and Nigel Farage debating Europe is not in our top 3. But their next debate is taking place on BBC Two and not, as I hoped, on a burning platform suspended over a pool of dog shit. OK, fingers on buzzers. Sean's team.
Teacher strike. There was a teacher strike.
Oh, the teacher strike.
Even at my age, when I hear there's a teacher strike, I still find myself going, hey! Day off! And I was putting my kids to bed the night before the teacher strike, and I was saying, good night, and remember, tomorrow there's a teacher strike. And they went, hey! As a job, you think it's nowhere near gets the respect it deserves. I mean, everyone has a great deal of sympathy for nurses, which obviously you do. I'm not taking away from that. But teachers, other people's kids, It's just the worst. That's the worst experience known to man, apart from genuine pain inflicted on your body.
I don't know. You see, I think it's the primary school. I meet primary school teachers, and I think easy life, babysitting. But then I meet secondary school teachers. Like, I teach 15 to 18-year-olds geography. Gee, good luck with that.
Infuriating being a teacher, because every 5 years, pretty much, there's a new schools minister who just completely changes the job, who's never taught. They just come in and they go, here are the new rules, by the way. I used to be an ice cream man, but now I do this. So now you're not allowed to teach geography on a Wednesday. And he's the only man in the country with a slappable voice, Michael Gove. His idea was they should use exercise as punishment, which is taking the least well-behaved kids and making them the fittest and strongest.
If I was Michael Gove, what I would do, something really radical, I'd make school, it starts really hard, and then it gets easier and easier and easier and easier. Give you an incentive to sort of stick it out. It's like going down a hill. You just go, way, so you go uphill, and then when you get to about 12, it starts getting really easy, and you're on just like sort of animal noises when you leave.
Carol, you were an education czar at some stage, weren't you? You were a maths czar, weren't you?
I did a maths report, yes, about 2 years ago. I was also involved in the introduction of the numeracy hour when Blair was Prime Minister and Blunkett was Education
The
Secretary.
numeracy hour?
Yeah.
What, countdown?
I was a teacher for a little bit. When I left school, I got a job in Australia teaching sport and junior science, and I failed every single one of my science O-levels. So.
Yeah, but it's Australia, isn't it?
Says something for the Australian citizens.
It's Australia. They were just happy to be in out of the cold.
Out of the cold? Australia's really hot.
Yeah, no, good point, well made.
Yeah.
You were a teacher. Yeah. How long did you teach for?
About 8 months. I had a ball, but because I'd left school and gone straight to being a teacher, it was the transition from being a pupil to being in the staff common room was quite an extreme one. But what amazed me was that there was as many pranks played, there was as much poor behaviour, and there was drinking and shagging and all things that you think teachers would never do.
I think teachers would do that all day long.
Yeah.
Fern, do you think you make a good teacher?
No, but what frightens me is that they let anyone do it. Like, I feel sorry for the English teachers on strike, but I would happily see my old teachers get all their benefits cut. My teachers were all Glaswegians that couldn't spell your punishment exercises. They were the kind of people that would have taught you how to win a bar fight with a pool cue instead of taught you how to pass your A-levels.
The facts of teaching have remained the same since the dawn of time. The best teachers are the teachers with speech impediments, because they're the ones you listen to. Fact, isn't it? You can be as passionate as you like, but if you talk funny, the kids are going to sit and listen to you.
Did you have a teacher with a speech impediment?
I had a technology teacher who used to make a little noise every now and again.
Go on, just give us a little...
So it's something like, so if you're doing a dovetail joint, lads, don't forget to reinforce it with some PVA glue.
Well, I listened and I've retained that information.
Yeah.
PVA
I've
glue,
retained
yeah.
that for 15 years because of that noise.
And what was it? It's just a little...
Just every now and again, not all the time, but just every now and again, just at the end of the sentence. And that, don't forget that will be on the exam.
Well, I can tell you that's not one of the most talked about things over the last week, but the teachers are striking over conditions. I'm not sure if the conditions can get any better. I mean, you finish at 3:30, you get an hour off for lunch, and you've got 2 playtimes. Who else gets playtimes? OK, fingers on buzzers. John's team.
Well, gay marriage is legal now, of course.
Yeah.
Celebrated by Channel 4 by a musical wedding hosted by Stephen Fry, which I'm guessing wasn't a long meeting. How should we celebrate gay weddings? Well, I don't know, musicals and Stephen Fry? Fuck it, that'll do.
Sean, are you looking forward to this?
Yeah. I've always liked the idea of a leather marquee. No, I think the whole gay marriage thing, I thought it was all part of the sanctions against Putin.
Are we just trying to upset Putin?
Trying to wind him up. Yeah, this is for Crimea.
Yeah, take that, Putin. We're having a brilliant time.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Phil, this is a great thing, isn't it? Gay marriage, finally?
It is a fantastic thing. But I can't... There's a bit of a kerfuffle about because they can't get married in a church. And I don't really understand why they would want to get married in the church. The church is based on the Bible, and there's lots of references in the Bible about stoning the gays.
I think this too. God's surely looking down saying, I made my position on this quite clear in that book I wrote. It's only when people try and moderate religion, because it's mental, and at least people like the Westboro Baptist Church are mental enough to fully commit to it. You know the God hates fags people. Have we heard of them?
You know the American ones? Louis Theroux made a documentary about them.
Yeah.
They're the ones that sort of say God hates fags because they're proper mental.
If God hates fags, though, why would he invent lubricant?
That's a good letter to the Daily Mail.
Phil, you're a gay icon, if I'm not very much mistaken.
I thought that was yours.
No, Jimmy's an icon in the sense he's a gay icon. You put him on top of a wedding cake at a gay wedding.
Well, if gay proposals are anything to go by, gay weddings are going to be amazing.
It's just got more oomph about it. It's got more life about it than, you know, men normally do to women. It's
Yeah,
like...
but Carol, you should see the state of the shed they built.
How did you get proposed to?
Which time?
It was different in those days, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Yeah, we were riding on the back of a hay cart.
I thought you were going to say Triceratops. Well, let's have a look and see if gay marriage is up there. So, gay people can now get married. So this should mean straight people can now take poppers, dance to Kylie and suck off strangers in public toilets. I certainly hope so. I am so straight. At the end of that round, Sean, Henning and Phil have 1 point. Jon, Fern and Carol have 2 points. So our next round is Pick of the Polls. Jon, Fern, Carol, pick a question.
The dunce.
OK,
Yeah.
you've chosen the dunce. Last week, a supermarket in Nottingham came under fire after installing a cash machine just 15 inches from the ground. Look at that. I mean, that's a lot of fun, isn't it?
You can imagine 7 people in Nottingham being happy about it.
Well, one of them would be happy, the other 6. So we asked our studio audience, do you think you have common sense? Yes or no? Jon, do you think you've got common sense?
I think I've got too much common sense, yeah. I think I would say that as a result, I'm bordering on the tedious. I don't think I've ever lost my keys or locked myself out or... I can't remember the last time I fell over.
I fell over last year. I fell down the stairs and I broke my nose. Now, that does not make life more exciting.
Although, ka-ching, Stan a stairlift advert.
How did you fall down the stairs?
I had high heels on and a rucksack. I always go around with
High heels and a rucksack. Oh, tell me more.
And you were dressed as a beefeater.
No, I always have a rucksack. I don't like handbags, so I can put both hands in my pockets. So when I trip...
You can break your nose.
Well, I will say maybe I'm too commonsensical, but if I am going down the stairs in high heels, I don't put my hands in my pockets.
Annie, what do you think?
It's good when people say, like John, when he says he has got common sense and people pride themselves on their common sense. What is dangerous for society is when people go, oh, yeah, I'm a loony and proud of it. Oh, I came home from the pub and fried an egg, but I was so pissed I fell asleep. Next thing I know, the house is on fire. Aren't I a Walliet? Yeah, you are a Walliet.
Let's let Walliet go, shall we?
You know what I've always thought was not a thing of common sense is I've never understood why people test bath water with their elbows.
Oh, no, you've got to use a baby.
No. Why do people always use their elbows to test bath water? Because you never put your elbows in the bath. Then you sit there like that. Your elbows never go in the actual bath. And really, what you should test water with is with your balls. And that way you would know exactly what the temperature is.
OK. Of course, the people with the most common sense are probably, you know, practical people like plumbers. Have a look at some of their fine work.
Well, maybe that's the Siamese twins.
Yeah. Good. Take a look at this one. do you explain that? Mr. Tickle, maybe? OK, the next one is pretty special, I think. This is an amazing piece of... I don't want them to see my face, but my junk, yeah, I'm fine with that. Fern, do you think you've got common sense?
I've been told by a lot of people that I don't have any, but to me it all seems logical. Like, I put knives in toasters and things. Is that a bad thing to do?
They are better hot.
Yeah.
So what's the thing you've done that you've kind of gone, oh, actually, that was a bit crazy?
Oh, I was on the phone once talking to my friend when I was at school. I was playing with some paracetamol pills with the other
Sure,
hand.
you play with paracetamol, yeah? As a child, yeah, sure.
I started putting
Scottish
it in
Lego.
in and out of my ear, and then I had to go to hospital to get it removed from my ear.
And then when they took it out, did you go, oh, it sort of aches a bit, and they won't just have a paracetamol?
It was dead funny to go, you know it should go in your mouth.
I've just remembered something I did, which is very stupid. When I was a kid, walking home from school, and I must have been about 7 or 8 years old, and there used to be a level crossing that went up like that. Yeah. And I had a Parker with toggles, and he'd be waiting for the train to go... No. And I was playing with my toggles, and I tied, like, not just one, about 4 knots across the railing. And I was just in a dream world, and then the thing started going up. And I was hanging on to this railing in the sky. And luckily, this guy got out of his car and sort of climbed up and cut me down as I was going...
I know the stupidest thing I ever did. I think I was about 6 or 7, and Mum sent me down to the... She had one of those chest freezers with a big lid. So
oh, yeah, I remember
said,
those.
go and get the ice cream, and I decided, stupidly, that I was thirsty. So I lifted the lid and bent my head in and went to lick the ice. Well, my tongue, of course, stuck to the ice. And then with the chest lid over the top...
And is that why you talk like that? OK, let's get some answers on this. So we asked the studio audience, do you think you have common sense, yes or no? What do you think, John?
I think people think they do have common sense,
I do as well.
What are you going to go for, Sean?
Yes.
OK, you're going yes? I can tell you the answer is yes. 76% of our studio audience think they have common sense. Common sense, of course, is the sense that Kerry Katona uses to detect when there are chips nearby. So at the end of that round, it's 2 points for Sean Steam and 3 points for John Steam. The winner is the name of our final round. Here's your first one. Top secret to a long life.
Be as awkward as possible.
Be as awkward as possible?
Awkward as possible, yeah.
think that too.
Do you think so?
Yeah, my one surviving granny hates everything and everyone, and I think that's fueling her.
Fueled by hatred.
Yeah.
How are you awkward, Carol?
I'm not, actually. But, listen, I work with Janet Street Porter. I know about these things.
Henning, what do you think for a long life?
I don't know. Don't invade Russia in the winter. Well, the key to a long life is have realistic ambitions. If you try in life and become something you can't, you're just not destined to, then don't try and go for it, but just lower your expectations and your ambitions. There's nothing more... If people...
I don't know if that's ever going to be a Disney song.
I didn't express it in a very catchy way, but I think we could rap it. Like, do not have too high ambitions, everyone. Oi, listen.
I don't know if you've heard rap music or just someone with a speech impediment.
But that's the key, isn't it? If people think, oh, I wish I was an astronaut, forget about it. You'll never be an astronaut. Don't set yourself up for disappointment. Just have realistic ambitions. And, OK, in all probability, I'll end up working somewhere in middle management. Of course you will.
Simon Cowell thinks he's harsh, but this guy... I'm not even going to break your dreams. I'm telling you, don't have dreams. What do you think, John?
Dance like nobody's watching. It's what's kept me alive all these years.
I don't want to give it away, but this would suggest you've got... I mean, I'd give you half an hour to live.
Don't drink a lot on your own. Don't play darts on your own. Don't watch Home Alone more than once a week.
It's to do with mood.
Stay happy.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer. Yes, the secret to a long life is being happy, which is why Chris Martin might now live forever. OK, final question. Most unattractive habit. What do you think?
Is it saying would of?
Oh, instead of would have. Yeah, would have, should have.
I don't think that beats using the cat's litter tray.
It's so much more convenient. It's right there in the kitchen.
Have you got a cat?
No, I just like to shit in a box. Fern, any unattractive habits?
Just remembered I pulled this guy once and I brought him back to my flat for a pump and I pulled back the sheets and there was a loaf of bread in my bed.
Oh, my God, it's like a Scottish man's dream.
Brushed the crumbs to the sides. Make yourself at home, son.
Oh, Mr. Darcy. Most unattractive habit. What do you think, Phil?
Well, I've just been filming my secret agent series, going around helping people who haven't figured out they actually need to clean the house in order to sell it.
What's the worst thing you've seen?
There's an awful lot of kind of pet poo. I've seen an awful lot of that. I've seen a kitchen where the cat had weed on the floor so much there was a hole in the floor. It was rotten. Sex aids. Seen a few of those.
What, just lying around the house?
Yes.
For the estate agent, this room would be ideal for masturbation. Henning, any annoying habits?
What I really hate is when people tell me about their unrealistic ambitions. Harebrained ideas and plans for the future.
I want to be a comedian, Mutter. I want to be a comedian. Mutti. I want to be a comedian in England.
I would have never, ever bored my parents with plans like that.
Really?
You do it, and then you tell, I'm a comedian now in Great Britain, and then, yeah, good for you, well done.
I imagine somewhere in Germany there's like a map of Europe and there's like a cardboard figure of you and someone's going, we are going to push Henning into England.
Yes, we're putting you undercover as a comedian. Will anyone believe that? No.
You reckon I work for Berlin from here?
Yeah.
What sort of information will I have gathered here this evening? That would be of any interest or significance to anyone back home.
Well, don't be like that, Henning.
The most important message you can take back home is, we haven't forgiven you.
OK, most unattractive habit.
I think, Jimmy, one of the most unattractive habits is when you're talking to a man and then he's just looking at you and not actually listening to what you say. So then when you ask him a question... he says, pardon?
What?
The German people will be very pleased to find out about this.
OK, most unattractive habit.
Picking your nose.
Yeah, picking your nose.
Picking your nose is number 2.
Spitting.
Spitting is it. That's it. John's got it. Yes, the most unattractive habit is spitting. People from Belgium spit a lot because they're Flemish. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Henning and Phil have 2 points. John, Fern and Carol have 5 points. They're tonight's winners. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.